What is up, YouTube viewers? Today we have the performance summary on the Nike Kobe 10. This is the Blue Lagoon colorway. Without further ado, let's get straight into the materials. So the material on the Nike Kobe 10, they went back and used Fuse. Basically, a lot of people did not like this particular part of the shoe, basically because they use Fuse in every single Nike model, especially their lower grade models. But for a signature model, just for Kobe Bryant, really was a downer for most people. But in my opinion, I'm used to playing in Fuse, so personally I thought this was a pretty standard setup. As you can see with all Fuses that they do require breaking time, this was a little bit stiff, but once you break it in, it's pretty flexible. But yeah, it was pretty much a downgrade from the Nike Kobe 8s and 9s, which featured engineered mesh and Flyknit versions. But this, for the regular Kobe 10, they featured, like I said, this textile mesh that's glued on top of the Fuse layer. So as you can see, it is probably the most durable Kobe out of all of the Kobes that we've been seeing so far. They're still in good condition, no ripping and no tearing. I'm pretty sure this will not tear on you. Depends on how hard you play, but I'm pretty sure this won't rip as easily as the Kobe 8s or the Kobe 9s, so that's a plus. And as far as the lower parts of the shoe, we have the midsole, which is wrapped around in this TPU shell or cage. As you can see on the medial side, there's flex grooves in the inside of the cushion, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, TPU frame or cage that encapsulates the cushion with a semi-translucent outsole, rubber outsole. So that's pretty much it for the materials. Aesthetic-wise, it looks pretty dope. The tongue is made out of this synthetic kind of nubuck. It's not. I don't think it's real nubuck because it doesn't have that much of a rubbery feeling to it, but it still acts as nubuck as well as the heel here. But that's just for aesthetic purposes. The actual function here is the Fuse, and I thought the Fuse did pretty good job of keeping my foot locked in place, and I didn't have no problems once it broke in. So materials, they're okay, but I know a lot of people didn't like them. So for the cushioning on the Nike Kobe 10, we have a full-length Lunarlon setup, same as the Kobe 8s and Kobe 9s, but this year it is encapsulated. Along with a bonus, in the heel we have a visible air zoom unit in the heel for impact protection purpose. As far as like actual comfortability, these shoes weren't as mushy. The Lunarlon specifically, it wasn't as mushy as the Kobe 8s or 9s. They felt like a regular Flylon at first. But like I said, in the material section, you just have to break in the shoe, and then you'll feel that nice responsive mushed feeling that you would have had in the Kobe 8s or 9s if you played in those shoes. Lunarlon is a really great foam. However, it does bottom out over a long span of time. For this shoe being encapsulated Lunarlon, it will lengthen the lifespan of the foam just because it is caged, so you won't have that full-on effect of that mushy feeling right away, like I said. And then the zoom, like I said, impact protection purpose, and it's pretty responsive when it's all broken down. As you can see on the outsole, there is little cutouts for the foam itself. You can see the slits, just like the Nike Free series, but in this case it's the Lunarlon foam that's been cut out. But basically it promotes pretty good flexibility, as you can see. Very flexible, so that is really good for transition and fluidity. And for the foam having that feature, I think it's a really smart idea, since it is encased in plastic and rubber. So that was a smart idea on Nike's part. But overall, comfortability is really good. So the traction on the Nike Kobe 10 features this kind of storytelling. Well, not really storytelling, they're just lines pretty much. As you can see closely, they're just individual lines, what Nike's calling it nodules. So the nodules line up with the cutouts of the midsole of the Lunarlon inside. You can't really see it because the traction is so dusty. And then on the heel, you have this plastic X. But for traction in general, this was probably one of their other higher points, along with the cushion. But this the traction really stood out to me on this particular shoe. I didn't think that this kind of traction, I mean, if you can kind of hear it, it feels like a comb or like a race car tire. So basically these little nodules are very flexible and very pliable. So on outdoor courts, I highly would not recommend using this shoe on outdoor courts because the rubber will just burn out like that. So indoor courts is what it was probably traditionally made for. And I gotta say, on clean courts, you're sticking to the court like glue. And then on your dustier courts, we all wipe here and there, but with this particular shoe I didn't really have to wipe anyways on a dusty court, so that was actually really perfect for me. And like I said, the traction is not that durable, so indoor courts you'll be pretty good with these shoes as far as indoor play goes, but outdoor play would not use it. Lockdown and support is pretty abundant. It's pretty good considering it's a low top, and it's probably one of the most supportive Kobe we've had throughout the years. But basically, your support and lockdown comes from the fit, along with the full-on fuse upper that you see. It really does hug the foot nicely. It tends to flex a little bit awkwardly, as you can see, but it's really pliable once you break it in, as you can see what I'm doing right here. It's pretty pliable, so you won't have any problems afterwards. But the support is really good. You also have this added piece right here on the lateral side, and this is where you are most likely going to jab step, curling off screens, or even euro stepping. That 1-2 step. This carbon fiber side shank will help with that. It keeps you stable on the ground, and you get good mobility on the court. As you can see, it does extend outwards or inwards into the actual part of the outsole, so you'll have no problems with this teetering over, because this is it's present. The carbon fiber is present, along with the whole midsole shell, TPU shell. So that's gonna keep you planted and supported. It's good for stability too, because you don't want to, like I said, be rolling over or anything like that, cause sudden movements, because this is plastic. So this will keep you from doing that. You also have your traditional internal heel counter in there, or heel cup. So you have added lockdown right there. And yeah, lockdown support, probably the best we've had on a Kobe, in my opinion. So for breathability on the Nike Kobe 10, you basically only have this mesh tongue that you see right there. It's the same kind of mesh we've seen from the Kobe 9's tongue, the regular EM version, as well as probably the Flyknit too. Add that in there, but yeah, it's basically the same material, but this is a little more breathable, and that adds for air to come in and heat to escape, and that's pretty much your main ventilation point. The fuse kind of hinders that airflow because it is blocked where all the areas of your foot need to breathe, so it's not really that good as far as ventilation is. But in for it having this tongue right here is pretty good, because your foot won't be as drenched as you would in, let's say, the leaning wave weights or something that has a little more thicker of a material wrapped around your foot. And those shoes had those thick laces where it would just block the tongue ventilation completely. But the Kobe 10s right here were pretty decent at breathability. All in all, I think this shoe is probably I still think the Kobe 8s hands down has the best traction from the Kobe line, but this is probably the best Kobe overall as it stands. It's the most supportive Kobe, obviously, and the cushion you can't go wrong with. Priced at $180, a little bit expensive, but they do bump down in price. I actually just copped the Kobe 10 Silk Roads. I'll take a picture of it right here. But yeah, I copped those at an outlet, $30 off, along with the 20% off the back wall. So that was a pretty good steal in my opinion. But yeah, Kobe 10s are going down in price, so I recommend you guys look at your local Nike outlet, see if there's any Kobe 10s lying around, and pick them up, because I really recommend this shoe. But yeah, that is my conclusion of the performance summary of the Nike Kobe 10. Hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.